The January transfer window is starting to feel like a defining moment for Rangers, and there is a growing sense around Ibrox that this is not a period for half measures. The club's approach so far suggests real intent, driven by the understanding that this season carries weight far beyond domestic pride. Winning the league is not only about history, bragging rights, or closing gaps. It is also about the financial future and the competitive position Rangers can secure in Europe. That reality is clearly shaping every decision being taken behind the scenes, and it explains why the transfer activity feels sharper, faster, and more ambitious than in recent windows. There is a clear awareness that automatic access to the Champions League phase may not always be guaranteed in the seasons ahead, and that makes this campaign feel like a now or never opportunity. The prize on offer is enormous, not just in terms of prestige, but in revenue, visibility, and long-term planning. Rangers know that success this season can create a platform that changes the club's trajectory for years, and that sense of urgency is reflected in how targets are being identified and pursued. This is not about patching holes, it is about strengthening from a position of belief. The arrival of Tushi Chukawani has already set the tone. He is seen as a player with immediate energy, but also clear upside, fitting the idea of recruitment that serves both the present and the future. What stands out is that this signing has not slowed anything down. Instead, it appears to have opened the door to a wider push, with Rangers actively involved in conversations across multiple markets. The impression is of a club that has done its homework and is now moving with confidence rather than caution. One of the names now generating serious discussion is Hungarian winger Damir Redzik, a player who has been catching attention with his performances in Slovakia. At just 22 years of age, he has already shown an ability to influence games regularly, finding the net consistently and offering direct threat from wide areas. His profile is particularly interesting because he operates as a left-footed player on the right flank, a type Rangers do not currently have in abundance. That balance and unpredictability is exactly what supporters have been craving, especially against teams who sit deep and look to frustrate. What adds weight to this situation is the level of competition for his signature. When clubs with strong European track records and reputations for developing talent are circling the same player, it is usually a sign that the data, the scouting, and the eye test all point in the same direction. Rangers being part of that conversation reflects positively on their own standing and ambition. From a player's perspective, Ibrox represents a stage where strong performances can open doors quickly, particularly towards the top leagues, and that pathway is something the club is increasingly using as a selling point. There is also a noticeable pattern emerging in the age and profile of the targets Rangers are focusing on. Players in their early 20s, already tested at senior level but still with room to grow and improve, fit neatly into both the sporting and financial model. They are expected to contribute immediately, but also to increase in value over time. That balance is not accidental, and it suggests a recruitment strategy that is more coherent and disciplined than in previous years, where short-term fixes often took priority. Alongside this, there had been continued movement around Andreas Skov Olsen, a situation that underlines the complexity of the market Rangers are operating in. He is a player with proven quality at a high level, but circumstances at his current club have limited his involvement. A potential loan move, reportedly involving significant financial commitment, shows how serious Rangers are about adding quality now. However, it also raises questions about structure, particularly around options or obligations to buy, and how much long-term control the club would retain. Supporters have seen both sides of that coin in the past. Loans can be transformative when they bring in players hungry to prove themselves and re-establish their careers. At the same time, they can also feel like missed opportunities when form attracts attention elsewhere or when injuries complicate future plans. In Skov Olsen's case, the hope is that any deal would be constructed in a way that protects Rangers' interests, allowing the club to benefit fully if he rediscovers his best level and becomes a key figure. The comparison with previous loan successes is an obvious one. Rangers have benefited before from players who arrived with something to prove and left having played a major role. That belief is part of why there is cautious optimism around this potential move. If handled correctly, it could add a layer of quality and experience that elevates the attacking options during a crucial run of fixtures. The key will be ensuring that the club is not simply renting talent, but investing in impact. Beyond those headline names, there is a sense that deals are progressing quietly but steadily. Movement involving defensive options has also been discussed, with indications that agreements may already be in place and announcements could follow soon. These are the types of additions that often fly under the radar but become vital as the season intensifies. Depth, competition, and reliability across the squad are essential if Rangers are to sustain a title challenge without losing momentum. On the outgoing side, the decision to allow young players to gain experience elsewhere is being viewed as sensible rather than reactive. Loans designed around development, minutes, and responsibility are part of building a healthier pipeline, ensuring that prospects return more prepared for the demands of first-team football. That approach reflects a broader understanding that success is built over time, not just through headline signings, but through smarter squad management. Away from transfers, there has also been a serious and emotional issue addressed by the club in recent days, reminding everyone that football does not exist in a vacuum. Rangers have taken a firm stance in response to deeply offensive behavior directed at one of the darkest moments in the club's history. The Ibrox disaster remains an open wound for families, survivors, and the wider Rangers community, and any attempt to mock or trivialize that tragedy crosses a line that cannot be ignored. The club's response has been clear and uncompromising, emphasizing that such actions are not only morally repugnant, but have previously led to serious consequences. By demanding a full investigation and accountability, Rangers have reinforced the message that there is zero tolerance for behavior that seeks to demean loss of life or exploit grief for rivalry. It is a reminder that respect and humanity must always come before football banter. This episode has once again highlighted how sensitive and enduring the memory of that day remains and why vigilance is required to protect the dignity of those affected. As the season continues, Rangers find themselves balancing ambition on the pitch with responsibility off it, navigating a period that could define not just results but the values the club stands for as it pushes forward into the most important months of the campaign. As the window keeps moving, the feeling around Rangers is that momentum matters just as much as names. This is the stage of the season where confidence can snowball, and the club appears determined to ensure that belief inside the dressing room is matched by action from above. Every potential addition is being viewed through the same lens. Can this player raise the level immediately? And can he still be part of the picture beyond this campaign. That mindset is shaping negotiations and explains why Rangers are prepared to move decisively when the right opportunity appears. There is also an understanding that this league race will not be won on flair alone. Depth, adaptability, and the ability to rotate without a drop in intensity are going to be critical as fixtures pile up and pressure increases. Rangers have been here before, knowing how quickly injuries or suspensions can derail momentum. That is why the focus is not solely on attacking talent, but on balance across the squad, making sure that every position has competition and that standards remain high every single week. The discussions around potential loan deals highlight that balance between urgency and caution. Bringing in a player who is eager to prove himself can inject energy into the group, especially when that player arrives with experience of high-level football and a point to make. At the same time, Rangers are keenly aware that short-term fixes must not block long-term planning. Any agreement being explored is about control, flexibility, and ensuring that strong performances ultimately benefit the club, rather than creating future frustration. What stands out is how deliberate the club has been in targeting players who are mentally ready for the environment at Ibrox. Talent alone has never been enough in Glasgow. Players must cope with expectation, scrutiny, and the reality that every match feels like a final. Rangers appear determined to recruit individuals who not only have technical ability, but the personality to thrive under that pressure. That is a lesson learned the hard way over recent seasons, and it feels like one that is now firmly embedded in decision-making. The influence of European ambition cannot be overstated. Rangers know that success domestically is closely tied to credibility on the continental stage. Automatic qualification for the Champions League would not just be a financial boost, it would enhance recruitment, retention, and overall stature. Players at the peak of their careers are far more likely to commit when that pathway is clear, and younger talents see it as a platform to showcase themselves against elite opposition. Every move this window is being weighed against that wider objective. Inside the squad, competition for places is intensifying, and that is no bad thing. Players who have been comfortable starters now know that standards must remain high, while those on the fringes are being challenged to step up or risk being overtaken. That internal tension, when managed correctly, can be a powerful driver. It sharpens training, raises tempo, and fosters a mentality where complacency simply cannot survive. The management team are also acutely aware that the mood among supporters is shifting. There is renewed belief, but with it comes expectation. Rangers fans are sensing that this season represents a genuine opportunity not just to compete, but to take control. The club's actions in the market are reinforcing that feeling, sending a message that the ambition of the stands is being mirrored in the boardroom. That alignment is rare, and when it exists, it can be transformative. At the same time, the club continues to handle difficult moments with a seriousness that reflects its identity. The firm response to offensive behavior linked to past tragedy was not about point scoring or public relations. It was about drawing a clear line and reaffirming values that go beyond football. Rangers understand that history carries responsibility and that protecting the dignity of those affected by loss is non-negotiable. That stance resonates deeply with supporters who see the club as a community, not just a team. As attention returns to the pitch, the challenge now is to ensure that external noise does not distract from the task ahead. Transfer speculation, rival reactions, and media narratives can easily become a sideshow as Rangers' focus must remain on consistency, performance, and taking points where it matters. New faces can provide a spark, but the foundation of any title push remains discipline, work rate, and unity. There's a growing sense that the coming weeks will shape how this season is remembered. Decisions made now, both in recruitment and in match management, will echo into the spring. Rangers are positioning themselves to attack that period with strength rather than hope, building a squad capable of absorbing setbacks and responding with authority. That is the mark of a team that believes in its direction. With the window still open, further developments are expected, and each one will add another layer to an already compelling campaign. Rangers are not simply reacting to circumstances, they are attempting to dictate them, pushing forward with a clear idea of what success looks like and what it will take to achieve it. The pressure is real, but so too is the opportunity, and everything about the club's current approach suggests they are fully aware of what is at stake as the season continues to unfold. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers around Ibrox are growing louder, and the word doing the rounds is that Rangers are preparing to smash their own transfer ceiling in a move that could tilt the entire title race. Sources close to the club suggest a $10 million deal is being lined up, a figure that immediately signals ambition and a clear message to rivals. Rangers are not here to stand still. The identity of the player remains wrapped in secrecy, but the profile is already being painted in bold strokes. This is said to be a footballer entering his prime with experience at a high level and the kind of personality that thrives under pressure. Rangers have been accused in the past of gambling on potential. This time, the feeling is that the club wants certainty, a difference maker who can step straight into the starting 11 and raise standards across the park. There is a sense that this move is not just about quality, but about psychology. Spending $10 million hires in the Scottish game is a statement that echoes far beyond the training ground. It tells the dressing room that the board believe this squad can go all the way, and it warns opponents that Rangers are ready to flex financial muscle when it matters most. Supporters are already debating where such a player would fit and how the manager might reshape the side around him. Some believe the deal is aimed at solving a long-standing issue in a key area. Others think it is about adding depth and competition to keep standards ruthless. Either way, the expectation is clear. This signing would arrive with responsibility, not patience. If the rumors prove true, Rangers may be on the verge of one of the most significant transfers in their modern history. In a league where fine margins often decide everything, a $10 million injection of quality could be the move that shifts the balance and defines the season. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned